Hello there, thanks a lot for coming by PosterCentral.com's video blog today. I'm Pete Howard, and boy, this is quite the discovery, wouldn't you say? Man, this is the first concert poster that I've ever seen from after Bob Dylan's famous 1966 motorcycle crash, which of course completely changed his lifestyle and his musical direction. So, obviously, this concert was booked and the poster printed before that life-changing event in Dylan's life on July 29th of 1966. Although, I guess it's possible, just for complete accuracy's sake, the poster was printed a few days after the accident and word just hadn't gotten out yet that Dylan was incapacitated and wouldn't be carrying on. Further analysis too, you have to wonder if maybe there was a little leap of faith taken possibly on the part of the promoter. If this was printed before the accident on July 29th, then probably not. But if it was printed after July 29th, it's possible. The promoter, he had this big pre-planned folk series going on with 4 concerts spread over 8 weeks, and Dylan was the biggest star, even though Peter, Paul, and Mary were pretty monstrous too. But he had a lot invested in this whole thing, and maybe he just went ahead and printed these, hoping Dylan would recover in time to do the show, and so forth. But, I think after thinking it through, probably the promoter was just the best businessman or woman you could be. And, especially with this line about, down there at the bottom, see, tickets were sold for the whole series, not just the individual acts. You can see that line, prices include all 4 concerts. So, what a hassle to sell those series tickets, and then, the biggest star drops out, so that would just be a real business snafu. So, it probably happened in the order we think it did, and this just happened to be perhaps the only concert poster printed from after Dylan's motorcycle accident and after he concluded his world tour with the Hawks in May. So we are talking about Burlington, Vermont, and from the top there it says the Vermont Tuberculosis and Health Association presents in series at Burlington Memorial Auditorium. Now starting there, as you can see with the upper left, there's Odetta, the underground folk legend, and the Pozo Seco Singers, who were coming off a mild hit record with Time. And then there's Bob in early October with a show that just was not to be. He was, at this time, laid up at a hospital, or just say laid up in Woodstock, recovering from a cracked vertebra he suffered when he basically dropped his bike, dumped his motorcycle, while cruising around the Woodstock estate of his manager, Albert Grossman. By the way, finally on October 13th, a week after this scheduled show, Columbia Records finally put out an announcement that said, quote, that Dylan has, quote, not scheduled any performance before March of 1967. Well, of course, Dylan actually didn't step on stage until the next year, January of '68, for that Woody Guthrie Memorial Concert at Carnegie Hall. And much to our detriment, he wouldn't tour again until 1974 with the band. Now, another thing about this series that's kind of funny, and therefore the poster is too, is that Dylan was this complete raging rock star, doing raucous, powerful sets with the Hawks every night, and then he's teamed up here with these soft, quiet, acoustic folkies. But of course, the first half of Dylan's shows were acoustic. And also there were weeks between each act here in the series. It's not like this was a folk music festival weekend and you'd have the same audience for everybody. So, the bottom 2 there, a couple weeks after Bob, you had Peter, Paul, and Mary, and a couple weeks after them, you had the lovely Ian and Sylvia, folk musicians all. And then the series ticket prices were $8, $12, and $16. Kind of surprisingly cheap. That means you could see the acts for as little as $2 each. Well, that's pretty cheap. And tickets were available at music stores in Burlington or by mail order. And in the lower right corner, it does give the poster printing company credit as the Murray Poster Printing Company of New York City. So I guess you just have to take this lovely poster and file it under what might have been. All of us Dylan fans have thought about, gee, what if no motorcycle accident? Would he have been touring with the Hawks again, still in the fall here, and, touring off of Blonde on Blonde Part 2? Something like that. It's just, you just go kind of crazy thinking about it. But you can't change the past, even though Dylan says you can. And here we've got one that, again, might have been. Thanks a lot for dropping by today. Have a good one, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.